Pada dasarnya, siapapun Presiden Amerika Serikat tidak akan pernah bisa membuat negara Palestina merdeka jika ada tentulah presiden itu akan berakhir seperti John F. Kennedy dan Abraham Lincoln. Karena sebenarnya Amerika adalah negara investasi Zionis dan Pax Judaica. Lalu bagaimana dengan Trump? Bukannya dia benci Islam dan akan membawa dunia kepada hal yang jauh lebih buruk? Tentu tidak seperti yang Anda duga. Dahulu Trump memang membenci Islam, namun sekarang dia baru tahu bahwa kekacauan di dunia ini bukanlah disebabkan oleh Islam, namun pihak mafia yang paling berkuasa. ISIS bukanlah ulah Islam.
I call President Obama and Hillary Clinton the founders of ISIS. They're the founders. You get the MVP award. ISIS will hand her the most valuable player award. Her only competition is Barack Obama between the two.
Donald Trump's criticism that ISIS rose to prominence during the Obama administration ignored President Bush's role in removing U.S. troops from Iraq. Part of Trump's argument is that the U.S. troop withdrawals created a security vacuum in Iraq that the terror group exploited.
Perang di Irak seharusnya tidak pernah terjadi.
And when you have that much money involved, it's going to stay dirty. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. You know, Jeb Bush, in 5 days, he ultimately said it was a mistake. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
You lied, as you did, and you said that weapons weren't there. I mean, the intelligence...
There were no weapons of mass destruction. The CIA said there was a lot of information that something like that was going to happen. If you knew that there weren't weapons of mass destruction, and if you used that as an excuse to go in and try and make up for some sins for previous years, then it would be a lie.
You had once said 2008, you thought he should be impeached.
Let me tell you something. The war in Iraq started the chain of events that leads now to the migration, maybe the destruction of Europe. He started the war in Iraq. Am I supposed to be a big fan? We spent $2 trillion on that war. We would have been so much better off if Bush and the rest of them went to the beach and didn't do anything. If you had Saddam Hussein, who's a bad guy and all of that, but he made a living off killing terrorists. Now, if you want to become a terrorist, you go to Iraq. That's like the Harvard of terrorism. We also had an economic collapse at the end of his term. That economic collapse gave us Barack Obama. Without that collapse, we wouldn't have had Barack Obama.
Perang di Irak ialah ulah dari setan Netanyahu.
Dark son of a sorry to tell you, because he's gotten us into endless wars. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
Netanyahu had, from 1995 onward, the theory toppling the governments of Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a sorry to tell you, because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way.
Trump membenci Israel juga, meski disembunyikan.
In this country that are Jewish no longer love Israel. I'll tell you, the evangelical Christians love Israel more than the Jews in this country. It used to be that Israel had absolute power over Congress, and today I think it's the exact opposite. You look at the New York Times hates Israel, hates them, and they're Jewish people that run the New York Times.
So,
I understand the rest of your question. I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life. Number 2, racism. The least racist person.
Bahkan Yahudi sendiri benci Israel Zionis itu.
Palestinian rights. We as Jews are embarrassed what's happening there in the state of Israel, in the Jewish name. And what's your message to the people of Palestine? They shouldn't give up the struggle. They should continue to fight and not give up the struggle against the state of Israel, because by the end, Palestine will be free, because this is truth. Will succeed by the end. What's your message to the people of Palestine?
They should know. We feel very shame what's going on there, especially they're doing everything in our name, in the name of Jews, in the name of the Torah, in the name of God. It's so shameful. We are with you. You have to know. The Zionists are strong. We are weak. But God is on our side. At the end of the day, the Palestinian flag will be
Bahkan Elon Musk pun pernah membenci Israel. Namun ketika isu itu beredar, Elon Musk terpaksa jilat ludahnya dengan mendatangi Netanyahu. Agar sahamnya tidak hancur karena berpihak kepada kemanusiaan. Namun banyak Muslim tidak paham itu. Trump mulai berteman dengan Muslim. Trump lebih mencintai damai dibandingkan perang.
Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that war in one day?
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky, and within 24 hours that war will...
Bahkan sebelum perang meletus pun, Trump sudah mewanti-wanti agar tidak terjadi perang di Ukraina.
I gave you anti-tank busters that, frankly, President Obama was sending you pillows and sheets. And I gave you anti-tank busters, and a lot of people didn't want to do that, but I did it. And I really hope that Russia, because I really believe that President Putin would like to do something, I really hope that you and President Putin get together and can solve your problem. That would be a tremendous achievement. And I know you're trying to do that.
Trump akan membuat ekonomi Amerika dan dunia menjadi lebih baik.
There's so much energy. Companies like Carrier Air Conditioner just moving into Mexico, Ford moving into Mexico, Nabisco closing up shop in Chicago and moving into Mexico. We have to stop it, folks. I know how to stop it. We're going to create jobs. We're going to lower taxes substantially for the middle class. The middle class has been forgotten in our country. I have to worry about our country. Apple makes their product in China. I told Tim Cook, who's a friend of mine, who I like a lot, make your product in the United States. Build those big, beautiful plants that go on for miles, it seems. Build those plants in the United States. I like that even better. Apple makes its product in China. China is the biggest beneficiary of Apple, more than us. Capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. Crypto is going to define the future. I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen. I pledge to the Bitcoin community that the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will end. It'll be done. It'll be done. Carried interest. One of the greatest provisions for people like me, to be honest with you. I give up a lot when I run because I knock out the tax code. And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She was a United States senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump. And I say that about a lot of things. You know, I've heard Hillary complaining about so many different things over the years. Oh, we should have done this. But she's been there for 30 years. She's been doing this stuff. She never changed, and she never will change. She never will change. We're getting rid of carried interest provisions. I'm lowering taxes, actually, because I think it's so important for corporations, because we have corporations leaving, massive corporations and little ones. Little ones can't form. We're getting rid of regulations, which goes hand in hand with the lowering of the taxes. But we're bringing the tax rate down from 35% to 15%. We're cutting taxes for the middle class, and I will tell you, we are cutting on big league for the middle class. And I will tell you, Hillary Clinton is raising your taxes, folks. You can look at me. She's raising your taxes really high. And What that's going to do is a disaster for the country. But she is raising your taxes and I'm lowering your taxes. That in itself is a big difference. We are going to be thriving again. We have no growth in this country. There's no growth. If China has a GDP of 7%, it's like a national catastrophe. We're down at 1%. And that's like no growth. And we're going lower, in my opinion. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that our taxes are so high, just about the highest in the world. And I'm bringing them down to one of the lower in the world. And I think it's so important, one of the most important things we can do. But she is raising everybody's taxes massively. To you tonight, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Trump dan Elon Musk akan membuat peradaban AI yang sangat canggih.
Elon Musk, I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast, it was incredible. And it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character, he's a special guy, he's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. We have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's fantastic golfer, slightly longer than me. It's a ball a little bit longer than me.
Maka dengan bantuan Elon Musk, Amerika akan menjadi negara futuristik yang canggih di masa depan.
And what can it do? It can do anything you want. Oh, and what happens if you need a vehicle bigger than a Model Y? Passport will be so low, you can think of it like individualized mass transit.
Bahkan roket yang akan menggapai Mars.
Falcon 9.
Vehicles pitch transonic. Stage 1 landing weird startup. Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Falcon 9 has landed.
Video calls and more.
Dan internet tercepat di
When your
dunia.
Starlink kit arrives, it'll include everything you need to connect to the internet. You will need a clear view of the sky in order to stay linked to the satellite network. Starlink
Apalagi
can
jika
withstand
Elon Musk berbisnis ponsel, maka tentu akan sangat luar biasa. Jadi, kesimpulannya ialah terkadang yang terlihat buruk sebenarnya lebih baik dari yang kita duga.
Okay, all A's. And when you get older, what are you going to remember? No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. You know what else? No tattoos. I don't ever want to see tattoos on you. Goodbye. Why can't